Hi everyone and welcome to Danipedia. I'm Dan.
And I'm Dan.
And welcome to your number one place for science, media, tech and gaming news. So let's jump straight into it, Dan, because there's a lot of stuff we've got to cover this week. What's been going on in the movies?
Movies, big release this week. It's been at the cinema for only a couple of weeks, and that's The Irishman. Big Scorsese, gangster, epic film. I think... I haven't got the full rundown of this, but from what I gather, Netflix threw a whole bunch of money at them to get this through. But
it's the Netflix way.
It's the Netflix way. But on the chance, on what they basically said was, you get a limited run at the cinema and then bang straight onto Netflix. So it was released 2 weeks ago, and then tomorrow it's released on Netflix.
Nice.
And they've got De Niro and all that out pushing. Thanks very much, Netflix.
And I'm super excited for this film. I think it's going to be, hopefully, from the reviews I've seen so far, it's going to be a return to form. De Niro back at his gangster mode.
We've had that a few times though.
Yeah. But he's back at it again another time.
And it's not a comedy gangster. It's an actual.
He's a for real gangster.
Yeah, for real gangster. Well, yeah. He's in and around that whole
gangster
mafioso, Costa Nostra
I'm hyped.
lifestyle.
I'm hyped for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be banging.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. That's coming out on Netflix. Well, by the time this gets out to you, if you're listening to this, then it's probably out on Netflix already. We'll definitely be giving it a watch, and we'll be talking about that more next week.
Yeah. Once we've got a rundown, we'll give you a bit more detail. Cinematography, acting, how good it actually is, rather than
just gassing.
So many movies like this get hyped up though, don't they? It's and then you watch it, and some people love them, and other people just like.
So speaking of films where there could be a bit of liking, a bit of hating, that have definitely been hyped up, we are less than a month away now from the release of Star Wars Episode 9. Had to think about it.
Yeah.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
So, obviously, I think, and a lot of people are probably going to be in agreement with this, the second film in the new trilogy, the Disney trilogy as it's popularly known, was controversial. Rian Johnson, respected director, he'd done a couple of things before that, he came in strong, he was the prince that was promised, GOT, and he created a film. We
don't talk about GOT.
Well, anyway, he created a film that really did split the Star Wars fan base. And it's a vast Star Wars fan base. I think most people have seen or know of Star Wars, at least in some way. It's touched and it's had such an impact on society that any time that anyone does anything slightly off kilter with anything in this beloved series, it's always going to draw in for some harsh criticism. We were talking earlier about trying to pinpoint where he went wrong and what was wrong about it. And I genuinely believe the more you watch it, actually, the harder it is to pinpoint.
I'll tell you where he went wrong. When he killed Han Solo. That's literally when I went... He dropped it.
That wasn't the best move.
No, it was dumb.
Yeah.
You can't kill Han Solo. He's the...
In fairness, Rian didn't kill Han Solo.
It doesn't matter. He should have gone, I'm bringing Han Solo back.
That's where he went wrong.
That's where he went wrong. It's not putting his foot down saying, we're having a hologram Han.
Yeah.
Holohan.
Holler at a Han.
The whole thing is...
Anyway. We're getting besides the point here. The third film, can it redeem? Can it bring people back? I have a theory, and I'm not talking... we could go really deep into theories about what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. No one really knows, to be honest. And I think, if anything, that number 2 proved that. I don't think anyone could predict exactly where number 2 was going to go. People had loose ideas, but I don't think anyone predicted Snoke was going to get killed or anything like that. And so, coming into number 3, I have a theory that maybe, just maybe, 3's going to make sense of it all. I say 3. 9 is going to make sense of it all. 9 is going to be the one that brings all these pieces and these threads together and actually says, aha, this is why we made some of these decisions that felt a little bit illogical. over the course
think,
of the trilogy.
You say that, I'm not holding my breath. I mean, I'm angry about The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because
we don't get to watch it.
I'd love to talk about The Mandalorian, but I can't because I don't get to know what happens until March.
Thanks, Disney.
Cheers, Disney.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you're going to force me to buy a membership to Disney Plus.
Well, to be honest, I'm probably
going to get it.
I'll give you my subscription.
Yeah.
But you're going to force me to pay for Dan's subscription.
Force Dan to pay for my
family package now. Yeah. Thanks.
I mean, thanks, Disney.
Brilliant.
I mean, I know you hold all the cards here, but you're pissing a lot of people off.
Yeah.
And I mean, The Mandalorian, from what I've seen the review wise, everyone's raving about this. And it's a world now where we have instant contact with every part of the globe.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for you to limit the release for the UK.
To be quite fair, I understand. So my understanding of why Disney Plus has been delayed and why we've not had instant access to it is because a lot of the film rights from quite a few of the Disney collection are tied up with other providers.
Don't care, mate.
But The Mandalorian isn't. The Mandalorian isn't tied up. Give us Disney Plus. Give us what you can give us. I'd accept a limited library.
Yeah.
If you just gave us The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I wouldn't even care about that. What I'm saying is there's no excuse. What you do is you stop the US getting it until March, and then we all get it at the same time. Because all that's going to happen if you do that, you're going to get a whole bunch of illegal downloading in the UK. Yeah. Because people they're not going to wait. And you're in a community now where everyone knows how to do this. It doesn't matter what you do. It's not going to. No. It's not going to work. Just release it. Release it at the same time.
So, Rise of Skywalker, that'll be out in a couple of weeks, and you can look forward to us reviewing that and talking about I'm sure there's going to be some debate on whether it was good and whether it's wrapped up the Skywalker saga, as it's now being called.
Yeah, we may, I haven't discussed this with you yet, but we may have a special episode devoted directly to Rise of Skywalker. Depending on when we actually see the film, if we get a midnight showing or maybe even an advanced screening, then we could probably give you a review a bit early. So make sure you subscribe.
Watch this space, yeah. So otherwise, anything else in movies? The only other thing I've heard is a couple of rumours floating around.
Star Trek 4.
The other great space opera.
Yeah, and we may, well, it's still a rumour at this point, but we may see the reuniting of Chris and Chris.
The two Chris's.
The Chris-ception.
The only duo nearly as powerful as the two Dans.
Yeah, without as much knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. Now, I remember the last big Star Trek news that was sort of floating about was the Tarantino script.
Yes, still on.
Still on,
yeah. Tarantino may exec produce. There's rumour that it's going to be another J.J. Abrams directorial role with a special guest director of Tarantino. So, waiting for more information on this at the moment. But I don't care what anyone says. Star Trek's banging.
Yeah.
Star Trek's yeah. And I grew up with Voyager and TNG, Deep Space Nine, all of those. Not the golden age, but still,
it's pretty good.
It's good. And then Discovery's like great.
Controversially, I see TNG as the golden age.
Yeah, I don't. I can't disagree with you.
I'm Picard all the way.
We've got Picard announced also. So.
Oh yeah, that's the new streaming series. What's that on Amazon?
It'll be on Amazon. Yeah, I think it's Amazon for the UK.
Picard. All I've seen so far is him bopping about in a vine grove, in a vineyard.
The possibility that he might have some Alzheimer's / Parkinson's type disease, and this is his last mission.
The last mission.
The last 5-year mission.
Through your mind.
Take us out.
Oh dear, and he's talking to a vine.
Yeah.
Okay.
The grapes are his only friends.
So watch out, and if we find any more Star Trek 4 news, we'll be sure to bring it to you. Yeah. So coming on now to our TV shows. What have you been watching in TV this week?
Mate, I've had honestly the busiest week with TV. What I was thinking about last week when we chatted and saying how I love to binge. I put the brakes on, and what I've done is I've gone right. I'm going to choose a few seasons and I'm going to watch one episode a night. So to coincide with the release of The Man in the High Castle, I started rewatching The Man in the High Castle. I forgot how slow it is.
Yeah.
It is so slow. And I know what's going to happen, and it's still slow. And I'm like...
I found Man in the High Castle. I'm a big fan of... it's a Philip K. Dick adaptation, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's been some remarkable Philip K. Dick adaptations of art. Most famously, of course, To Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, Blade Runner.
Yeah.
But also, I really liked A Scanner Darkly. Do you remember that film?
Yeah, the animated
it was
live
like
action movie.
Keanu Reeves. They filmed it
Robert
and then
Downey Jr.
they cell shaded it. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr.'s in it.
Everyone had fleas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried getting into Man in the High Castle. It was too slow for me. It didn't. I loved where it was going, and I've even. I think I've read like the cliff notes of Man in the High Castle.
Well, it's only it's not like it's a novella. It's not even like it's a series of. There's a series of books.
Yeah.
But the big one that's never been made is, I think it's called Ubik, and it's like they buy this aerosol spray, and it's the one that won the big award for him, the one that made him really famous. But the guy that directed Scanner Darkly has the option for it. Ooh. And it's just been sort of it's there's been loads of attempts to make it, but it's a full on like mind bending, trippy.
Is this when he was fully engaged?
Yeah, this is literally like the year before he committed suicide.
Ah, right.
So it's like he was in Canada and he went a bit mad.
I do remember it. I don't think it's called Ubik. I can't remember what it's called now.
Yeah.
Comment in the comment section below when you realise
it's something like it's something like that. I can't remember. Literally, I've got it in my the front cover of the book is like a can of the aerosol spray with the name on it, like, and it's it's to stop them losing their mind, sort of thing. But yeah, we'll see where that goes, because I've heard on the grapevine that's back in
development.
Yeah, I love Philip K. Dick stuff. Is it's there.
Yeah. He's a sci-fi god.
He is a sci-fi god, and I mean, I think he wrote something like 150 like short stories.
Prolific.
It was, and it went on for years and years and years.
Just all of these little. It's kind of a bit. I know we come back to this every week. It's kind of like Black Mirror.
Kind of like Black Mirror, basically. Yeah, we're in Black Mirror. I mean, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? That book, more so than Blade Runner, that hit me. Like when I read that for the first time, I guess I was probably, I don't know, 17, 18. And I read it because I'd seen Blade Runner. Now, it's completely different to Blade Runner. I mean, it's similar, but it's completely different to Blade Runner. And I love it. Like, it really... Yeah, there's few books that I've read where I've gone back and read, and that is one of them. But, I mean, Deckard, to me, Deckard is a character that I can get behind.
There's only one Deckard that I recognise. Deckard Shaw.
We're not going
Deckard.
back.
Do you know why?
We're not going.
Do you know why he's called Deckard?
Why is he called Deckard?
Because I deck hard. I'm Deckard.
Yeah. Well,
Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Deckard.
You don't mess with the family, mate.
Have you seen Hobbs and Shaw?
I haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw.
It's all about the family.
It's all about the family.
I've never watched Hobbs and Shaw.
No, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
It looks rubbish.
Because it does look like a stinker.
Yeah. Sort it out, Statham.
So moving on, other TV news. Now I had to quickly grab and watch something, because there's a TV show that I love, and new episode's been out. We're about a week, 2 weeks behind our pals across the pond, and that is Rick and Morty season 4.
Rick and Morty season 4.
And I've got to say, oh my goodness, back with a bang. It's just consistent. I love Rick and Morty because there's not an episode where I'm like, oh, filler. Every episode I'm like, this is equal parts gross out.
No, there's one that's a filler.
Go on.
The one where the singing head.
Oh, what do you mean? I love that. That's my favourite episode.
No, it's not. Pickle Rick's everyone's favourite episode.
My favourite episode is Show Me What You've Got. That's my favourite episode.
There's no one's favourite. You can't tell me that Interdimensional Cable is better. Pickle Rick's better. The Rick Turian Rick Medate or whatever it's called is better, with the president and the Rick having the 15-minute fight through the White House.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what I mean. I love. This is the thing.
No, Show Me What You've Got is not better than any of those episodes. I skipped when I'm watching the series. If I rewatch it, I skip through that one.
No,
100%.
every episode. So with me,
Iced Tea.
every yes, that's amazing.
That's the only good book where he goes back to the alphabet planet.
All right. Well, for me, there is no for me, Rick and Morty. There is no filler episodes. I love every time I think about, oh, that's my favourite episode. Someone mentions another episode, and I go, oh no, that's my favourite episode. This new episode, that's my favourite episode. Until you mention another episode to me.
Morty's Mind Blowers.
Yeah, every episode. So if you haven't seen that episode yet, I won't spoil it too heavily. Usual sci-fi hijinks, plenty of travel, plenty of interdimensional hijinks.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff, and there's
some good high sci-fi.
Yeah, and funnily enough, you know, like the other day when it came out, and I texted you, and I literally just watched an episode of Man in the High Castle, and there was like about 20 fascism references in the new Rick and Morty episode.
There's a lot of fascism.
Yeah, there's a lot of fascism. It becomes the default.
Yeah, terrifying. So moving on from that, anything else in TV?
Yes, release of another season which is similar to Rick and Morty, called Final Space. I don't know if you're big on this.
So I've tried an episode of Final Space is on Netflix.
Yeah,
and it is a show. I kind of
it's great. Honestly, I was looking when Rick and Morty finished. I was looking for a replacement Rick and Morty, and Final Space is it for me. But it's much more linear. Every episode runs into the next.
What's
episode.
Give us the cliff note. Give us the 20-second pitch.
The last Gary,
right,
is a prisoner on a ship. He's trapped on a ship with an AI that won't. Did you see the movie with Chris Pratt where he was trapped? He was the passenger. Was it passenger?
Yes.
So you know he's stuck in there, and the computer won't give him anything except like black coffee, and that's basically what it is. Except there's no other people on the ship. So Gary, all he wants is a cookie. Right? It's like this quest to get
that's the MacGuffin.
That's basically it, yeah. But it's good.
Okay.
It's not as good as Rick. I nearly said it's as good as Rick and Morty. It's not as good as Rick and Morty, but it is up there. Like it's if Rick and Morty are 9 out of 10, it's a 7.5.
Rick and Morty are 9 out of 10. You crazy?
Well, there's no such thing as a unicorn.
So, well, you know, gaffer tape. A horn, a
horse. An ice cream cone on a...
Yeah, give me 10 minutes.
Cornetto on a head.
So...
one other thing which I'm just going to give a little honourable mention to as well. I watched it was released 2018, Dragon Ball Z Broly.
Yeah, that's out on Netflix now as well. Mate. That's on my wait list. Pretty hyped for that. I have to say, so I haven't watched the Dragon Ball Super TV show.
Yeah.
My understanding is that the first two Dragon Ball Z movies.
Yeah, they're basically going to take the Super TV show and they're going to edit that down into like a 2-hour
bosh it all together
movie. And it's banging. Yeah. It's really like it took me right back. It's sort of. There's a whole bunch of flashbacks to Dragon Ball. Like it skips from the Dragon Ball timeline, sort of sets it all up with Frieza and everything coming in, moves through the survival saga, with the androids and everything like that, completely misses that out, and then comes in after that with a long lost Saiyan who's been trapped on a pretty aggressive planet training their entire
life. And I bet his power level's above 9,000.
It's unreadable.
Off the charts.
It's literally the machine blows up. You know, the scanner just... That's how powerful he is. But his dad's in it. His dad's been trapped on this planet. He sort of rescued him away from Vegeta and kept him on this other planet, which is inhabited by these overly aggressive animals and blah blah blah. It's wicked.
Okay.
I'm a big Dragon Ball fan.
I'm all in.
Yeah, I love Dragon Ball. Like that's growing up for us. That was a lot of time spent watching Dragon Ball, and Broly is worth. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, Broly, it's worth a watch. I think it's like the runtime's like 1 hour and 27 minutes, so it's not even that.
I like with these movies as well. I mean, the one thing that I did like about Dragon Ball Z, again, filler episodes, and in fact, you can buy Dragon Ball Z. There's like a new cut. There's a new edit that you can buy.
We need a Topher Grace,
and it cuts. Yeah, it's Topher Grace at it.
Yeah,
and it cuts all of the like little filler episodes and all of the bits where it's just people standing around and saying his power level's increasing.
Yeah, like the whole. I remember that. That's one thing from my sort of teenage years. Sat there watching it, thinking to myself, you've had Goku sat there creating a spirit bomb to destroy Freezer for 4 episodes. Like, Freezer would have just literally like got, I'm not letting you get away with it, bang. Like, it would have just been laying into him.
You know it was going to be a filler episode when the guy chimes in, meanwhile, in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, here we go. Gonna watch Trunks dick about now. So check that out, Dragon Ball Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Yeah.
On Netflix. Okay, so we're on YouTube.
We are on YouTube.
What else has been going on YouTube?
Well, big developments in the Antiverse.
Oh my god, are we going to talk about Ants Canada?
We're going to talk about the AC Family.
Oh my god, AC Family?
AC Family.
You wouldn't believe what I saw.
Yeah.
What did he have this week?
He's bought a tarantula. Not sort of ant related. It turns out he's got like 50 of them that we never know about. The guy's house must just be like...
It's rife.
Yeah, there's literally must just be tanks everywhere. I mean, I sat there for like 25 minutes watching him glue a bit of cork to a glass pane.
There's just something so beautiful about a man who he cares so much about the little creatures.
Yeah, he really loves them. He explained that this tarantula is the most venomous tarantula in the world. It's not a beginner's tarantula, is the warning that he gave.
It's the big bad boy.
It's a big bad boy, yeah. It's banging. I mean, I don't understand why... He bought it from another guy who clearly didn't really know what they were doing, or as he said, he didn't want to slag them off too much because he's such a sweet guy.
Yeah.
But he basically said the terrarium or the viparium that they had made was designed for looking at the spider, and actually it wasn't good for the spider because he didn't have somewhere to
yeah,
really
spiders
hide.
don't really want to be looked at.
They're like quite reclusive, and this particular spider apparently lived in tree hollows in the wild, so he basically built a tree hollow with a viewing platform so he can now turn it around and see the spider when it's nesting. It's pretty
that's so cool.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. The guy's not an idiot.
If you're new to the podcast, then Ants Canada basically is currently our obsession of YouTube.
Yeah,
he's amazing. Anything else going on in YouTube this week?
Yeah, well, something you put me onto actually, Scrap Wars.
Scrapyard Wars.
Scrapyard Wars, yeah, sorry, not Scrap Wars.
So this is from a long-founded, I've been following, it's from Linus Tech Tips.
When you told me, I was thinking it was going to be like Scrapyard Challenge.
Oh,
Scrap Heap Challenge.
So this is it's kind of Scrap Heap Challenge. For those of you who remember Scrap Heap Challenge, this is like Scrap Heap Challenge, but it's for PCs. So each season of Scrapyard Wars, Linus Tech Tips, long-founded internet technology channel, but Scrapyard Wars is like a special thing where they're given a budget, they're given like a prerequisite, and then they have to go out and using Craigslist and Gumtree and all of those kind of sites, and just door to door, they have to build a PC on the set budget.
Yeah.
And each season it's just got bigger and better, and there's loads of little rules to it because it's a big tech channel, so there's lots of rules like you're not allowed to make it clear to people that you're from the Linus Tech Tips channel when you're doing it. This season in particular they changed it up because usually they build one battle station each.
Battle stations.
One PC each.
Battle stations.
That's the PC geek in me. What can I say?
Yeah.
They've got to build 3 this time, and it's going to finish in like a big gaming tournament.
Yeah, 3. So they put themselves into teams, but they have a little gaming tournament to decide which teams are which.
Yeah.
And I actually, do you know what? From the first 5 minutes, I was just thinking. First 5 minutes, I thought, this is just nerd stuff. I can't get behind this. And then, like the 6th minute, I was just like, what are they going to do? I can't believe that's the team they've chosen.
I am that nerd, but I love stuff.
Yeah, if I had the ability to build PCs, I would just be building PCs all the time.
If there's one thing that I've learned from I've been building PCs now for about 4 years. If there's one thing I've learned from building PCs, it's actually that anyone can do it. It's one of those things where it's almost like sorcery, and people are like, well, I know that a PC exists, but I don't know how these different parts come together. And then one person passes the knowledge on to another.
Funny, the only experience of building PCs I have is I was working in the maintenance department for a car dealership, and the chairman said to me, goes, I need you to go and help the IT department, you're just going to be a labourer for them. And the IT department were building 50 PCs, and they just didn't want to do it. So they went, there you go, this is how you do one, there you go, build 49 others.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, okay. So I started off doing it, off I go, and I'm getting on and on and on, I'm building and building and building. And then the chairman comes in and says, how's it going? I went, yeah, all right. So he picks up a hard drive and goes, oh, what's that? And I went, it's a hard drive. And he went, oh, okay. And he put it down on the motherboard and shorted the motherboard. But he blew the breaker for the entire upstairs of the administrative department of this car dealership. And he looked at me and went, was that me? And I went, I think it was. And he just ran away. And he left me there. And then the next thing I hear is this foot stomping down the hallway. It's the IT, like the director of IT. What happened? A hard drive fell on the motherboard and shorted everything. He goes, was it you? Yeah, I couldn't throw the chairman under the bus. So, yeah, that's my one experience of building PCs. It didn't end well.
Try to get over that trauma. I hope that one day I'm going to be building a PC soon. Actually, I'm building a PC for a family friend. He's 14 and he's quite excited about building PCs. I don't know if he knows. He doesn't watch our YouTube channel anyway. I don't think. But I'm going to surprise him with. I'm going to surprise him with hopefully the best part or a completed PC, depending on how many parts I manage to wrangle together.
Surely you've got to give him like a few bits.
Yeah, I think
I
might be able to get my hands on a full setup, or at least the components. And I'm wondering, I think, if he's anything like me, he'll probably get a good amount of enjoyment. Because at first I was like, oh, I'll just build him a PC, and then be like, ta-da! And then I thought, actually, he's probably the kind of geek that would get a kick out of building the PC. So I feel like I might just give him my mentorship as my Christmas present. Not only that, as in I'll buy him an instruct.
You're giving him an IKEA for Christmas.
I'll buy him the bits, and then I'll be like, and now I will teach you how to build it.
Young Padawan.
Yeah.
PC Padawan.
PC Padawan. So that's YouTube this week.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool though.
Scrapyard Wars on the Linus Tech Tips channel. This is the 8th season, so if that's a new concept to you, if the channel's new to you, it's for me. I know we're a tech channel, but they are my go-to tech channel, and all of the seasons, they're all really good for their own reasons. Each one's got a good theme, so check it out. So, tech news. What's been going on in the world of tech?
So last year, a company called Nikola, who actually are formed from former Tesla employees in the US, based in Utah, have now moved to Arizona.
That's cheeky.
Yeah, they basically left. All the top dudes left.
Yeah.
And sort of went, we're not enjoying Elon's company anymore. Let's start our own. They've done that, and they focus primarily on lorries, like freight transportation. In America, they would call them semis.
Yeah.
Basically, released some pretty cool battery updates just very recently. They're suing Tesla over some design infringements, things like the shape of the doors, the windscreens, that sort of, some pretty basic design stuff, not the tech. They're actually releasing the tech free to all the other EVs.
So open source kind of thing.
So they've come up with batteries which effectively are giving you double the range on the vehicle, and they're testing these vehicles with 32 tons, 80-odd thousand American pounds. America. They are driving full pelt, 32 tons on the back, and they're still getting 700 miles to these charges. Obviously, the batteries are massive because the lorries are massive, but it's really exciting tech because we're getting to the point now where the batteries are going to overtake a standard tank of fuel, and that's when it becomes much more, And the
electric car is no longer the greener option, but you take the hit in mileage on, and this is going to become the superior option. That's
when it suddenly becomes superior,
and that'll be the turn of the tide.
And this may be the first point where we get to the stage. Also, the charging speed's getting much. Even from, I think the Nissan Leaf was the first sort of main one, was released in like 2009. That came with a 24 kilowatt hour battery. The new one has a 60 in the same size compartment. So we're sort of nearly 3 times there, and we're charging twice as fast now. So we're on the cusp. on the cusp.
Future's happening.
And one, I mean, I'm just waiting for the day when you get 2,000 miles from the charge, and but the problem I think is you're going to get people breaking down much more often, or breaking down but running out of battery because they'll just forget that they have to recharge it.
Yeah, you mean like with phones? I think it took us a while. We're all better at it now. The only reason we're better at it, everyone carries a charger cable with them now.
Yeah, and people carry batteries in their bag.
We got to a point. We evolved to that point with mobile phones where we actually realised, because of the tech and everything, this battery's not going to last me through a day. But it definitely took a while for everyone to cross over and realise I'm going to have to charge this, because we got too comfy with having phone batteries that would last us like a week.
That's a big selling point now for people. These newer phones, like I think the Note S10, the Samsung all-day battery, the Google Chromebook all-day battery. This is Google even using their advertising campaign is anyone going to charge? Is anyone going to charge? That panic, and that's a genuine phobia, isn't it? The fear of running out of
running out of juice.
Yeah, it's effectively a real phobia. I don't know how serious that phobia is, but that is one of the things I spoke to my wife was, would you have an electric vehicle next? And she said, no, I'd be afraid that I'd run out of battery. I said, well, you run out of fuel and you don't seem bothered about it. That it's the same principle. You just stop and charge it up, or you.
So, electric vehicles, we've got to talk about either depending on who you are, either the best or the dumbest named car in the electronic vehicle game. I mean, of course, Cybertruck.
Cybertruck.
All right, Cybertruck.
I mean, now that is like they basically went, we're in America.
Yeah.
What do we name this truck?
Hell yeah, Cybertruck.
I mean, Elon, come on, mate.
So,
Cybertruck.
We saw the launch this week of Elon Musk's Cybertruck project. Big announcement. We'll get to how it all panned out, but let's talk about some of the key features just quickly. So far we know it's going to come in a range of models. There's going to be single engine, double engine, triple drive.
No, there's single drive and triple drive.
Single drive and triple drive. I heard double drive as well.
That's going to be like an independent axle fit. I don't think that's going to be a model that will be dropped.
Okay.
They've always announced these sorts of things just to miss out.
Is that something? My knowledge of cars is not huge.
They call it the range extender.
Okay, so it's not like a differential lock on a.
No, it's nothing like that. But the cool thing about electric vehicles is the maintenance is minimal, because in a combustion engine you've got so many moving parts,
and you just have battery, motor,
drivetrain, brakes.
Yeah,
effectively all it is. And I mean, you've got the direct torque, as the torque is instantaneous. We're talking this pickup truck is going to go 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. It's going to for $30,000.
Oh my!
£20,000.
And then what the top end model is like 62,000.
Yeah, something like that. So we're talking about 50,000.
Oh my!
So for 50 grand, you're going to go out and you're going to buy a car which is faster than a car that costs £1 million.
And it's a 4x4.
And it's a 4x4.
Oh my God. And
that drives itself.
It looks like it's from the damn future.
Yeah, it looks like DeLorean's big brother.
Yeah. Bulletproof windows as well.
Not so much.
So you've probably already seen this clip this week. If you haven't seen this clip this week, go and give it a look after our podcast. So they had a bit of a guff in the demos. They did these demonstrations, so they're boasting about this sort of almost ballistic, or basically resistant glass. I think they said you could fire a 9mm pistol at it, and it would.
I'm not so sure as much that it's for. The whole point of it is not for protection. It's not. They're so paranoid that you're going to get shot for your Cybertruck, because at the end of because what's going to happen? They're going to bring out a software update that if someone does try and steal it, and your facial recognition software doesn't pick up that it's an authorised driver, it's going to lock you in the car and drive you to a police station.
Amazing.
It's going to happen.
Amazing.
I mean, it's a security feature. The seatbelt won't come unbuckled. That sort of
You are locked into a Cybertruck.
Yes. Please stop resisting while we drive you to the nearest
You cannot resist Cybertruck.
Yeah, and then it was just park outside the station and go, we've got another one.
So yeah, Elon Musk asked one of his designers to hurl essentially a shot put at the windows, and it didn't go so well for poor Elon. Shattered one. He said, okay.
It must have been a dud bit, yeah. Didn't go through though.
And rewatching the clip now, the designer actually recommended. The designer's the one who said, "Oh, let me do the rear window. The rear window will be fine." So he's sacked.
Yeah,
because did the rear window in as well. Smashed it.
Yeah. What we didn't see in that clip though, that was prior to the ball being thrown at the glass, that guy had been laying into the door with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And not a dent on it.
And they had the theory is they were practicing this before it went out, and apparently the line that Tesla's now going with is it was pre-cracked basically.
Yeah, it weakened it.
He'd been dashing it in practice and it had
yeah, we've heard it all before.
Yeah.
That either way, it hasn't stopped Tesla getting 150,000 orders.
So yeah, apparently it's only $100 down.
Yeah, just a deposit reserve. Of 100,000.
And it's not going to see the light of day until 2021.
2021 is when it's going to be released, yeah. It will go into production in 2020.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait for the day when I'm walking down the road and I see a Cybertruck. I'll lose it.
And it's, I mean, the unsung hero in this whole thing is Panasonic. Because Panasonic are the ones who are actually developing the batteries for Tesla.
Really?
And doing the electronics internally. So, Panasonic has sort of sat there. Elon Musk is the overlord, and Panasonic has sat there, sort of going, "Hey Elon, hey Elon." He's going, "Shut up! I'm busy breaking glass that shouldn't be broken."
This is true. What I heard is that the batteries in this are going to be so awesome that if you're a Tesla-equipped home, and I mean the Tesla integration, for those of you not in the know, they have these battery walls as well.
Yeah, Power
wall. So you can get batteries for your home that charge from solar panels and so on. Or
and they also have a tiling system of solar panels. So you don't have solar panels on your roof. The actual roof tiles are individual solar panels. So and it looks incredible. Like you can't tell it's that good. They also do a driveway.
So there's a thing now where you can plug Cybertruck.
Yeah.
I love this saying. Hang
on.
Let
me prepare myself.
I can plug the Cybertruck into my power wall.
Yeah. And
then if there's like a catastrophic power cut, something like that, your house will sip energy from the car.
And they estimate an average house will be able to be charged. Will be able to run from Cybertruck for 2 days.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Which could, for a lot of people, that could be life-saving.
Yeah.
Especially if you're way out in the middle of nowhere.
I could see some aid,
absolutely.
There could be some reconfiguration or something going on. This could actually be very useful in sort of aid situations.
Yeah,
going out like we recently had the floods in England. This is the kind of tech that could really revolutionise those sorts of aid situations.
I think in the US especially, where you've got more mountainous regions, and you have this very heavy snowfalls and things like this. If the cables go down and you've got a power truck sat in the driveway. And it could be a good few days before anyone gets to you.
Yeah.
Power's back on, babe. Let's get the news.
So
then you can charge your phones. You can make phone calls. You can cook. You can do all of those things because of Cybertruck.
All because of Cybertruck.
Yeah. He sounds like one of the cast members from Transformers that didn't quite make it.
It looks like one of the cast members from Transformers.
If they make another Transformer,
Cybertruck's
going to be.
Of course, they're going to make another Transformer.
He's Megatron's PA.
Yeah,
Cybertruck. Where is Cybertruck? I had a 3:00 meeting.
So, in other vehicular technology news, vehicular news. Obviously, this week, Uber.
We spoke about Uber last week with autonomous driving.
Uber, but now Uber's hit a bit of the bump in the road.
Yes, I see what you did there. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, they've got so much clout now. The Mayor of London's effectively revoked the licence of Uber, but let's be honest with you, the Mayor of London isn't an elected official. He's going to be gone soon, and the next one could be sponsored by Uber, and then all of a sudden they appeal it, and then it's set on appeal for 3 or 4 years so they can carry on driving.
It's amazing how fickle I am as a consumer. Yesterday, when I heard Uber lost its licence, not in a blind panic, but I heard about another provider, something called Cap 10. Basically identical. setup, everything is basically identical. The only difference that I could tell with Cap 10 as a ride ordering service is you prepay for your journey.
Right.
So it does a prediction and it says, so you can't leg it, but also I guess there can't be any funny routing going on. Because I've already paid for my journey. And I was thinking, I felt a bit guilty.
Yes, like buying on a price.
Yeah, so I did a quite a...
You do it with minicabs though. How much is it going to cost for you to come and pick me up from the train station at 6 o'clock? That's going to be 15 quid, mate.
Yeah, but that's never a hard and with some minicabs, I guess it is. It's been so long since I had an old fashioned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's been so long since I actually phoned up for a minicab. But I mean, it was always like a lot of the ones I used had meters. So I guess with this, the only thing I felt bad about is with this service, I prepaid for the journey. We hit a ton of traffic, and in the back of my mind, I was like, "Oh wait, does that mean is this him sort of being ticked out of money?" Because
yeah. But at the same time, that's the agreement.
That's the agreement.
You know, you don't. You know, if you get problems with other products. You know, you've paid a set price for a product. If something goes wrong with it, you know, the price is the price.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's called capitalism.
Yeah, it is called capitalism. Yeah. I'm still grappling. So I'm not.
It really is.
Yeah. I'm not comfortable with it yet. I'm not set. Anyway, so Uber lost its license. I would say my personal view is I switched as a consumer, and I consumed a lot of Ubers in my time. I've ridden a lot of Ubers. I was like a Gold Plus Platinum member.
I've been like, if I'm in London, I'll always use a black cab.
Yeah, I know. You said about
I've
this
got
before.
reasons. I've got reasons. Don't judge me. Black cab driver. Plus, if you went to hospital, and there was a choice of a cheap, you could see a doctor straight away and it was really cheap, or you could see a doctor who knew what they were talking about. What would you...
I think that's an unfair comparison.
It's absolutely not. It's exactly the same comparison.
I say no comment to that one.
If you'd seen it's a doctor who said... You met both the doctors, and one doctor said, I did an online course, but I'm only going to charge you £5 to fix your ailment.
And the hospital hasn't seen my licence yet, but I promise I've got one.
I've probably got one. And I have insurance, but it's as a podiatrist, not a surgeon, and I'm going to perform surgery.
Yeah,
that's basically what's happening here. And the other doctor says, I was medical school for 7 years and know exactly what the problem is. I can fix it. You're going to go with the doctor, aren't you? And here's my licence to practice medicine.
No comment. So we're going to move on from that. We're going to move on from Uber. As I say, Uber, if you don't make it back, I miss you.
It's going to be 3 years. It took 3 years.
It took me all of 2 seconds to switch providers.
And all they're going to do, literally, they'll shut that app down, copy and paste the basic into another app.
Stuba!
Yeah, exactly. Uber.
It's done. So, otherwise, moving straight along, if we head a little bit upstream. Oh, there. Yeah, wait, there's a segue. Let's talk about Google's new streaming service. Now, we talked about this last week because it was the imminent launch, and now it has launched. Google Stadia, the new gaming platform from Alphabet, the ultimate mega giant benevolent overlords of the internet. And it was a massive flop.
Yeah, coincidentally, the chief designer from Google Stadia and Tesla are the same guy.
Really?
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
No. Whoever, the events company probably was the same, though,
Yeah.
because it just didn't go well for either of them.
So I think, unfortunately, the one thing that everyone was saying was going to happen, happened. The streaming technology, if anyone was going to do it best, it was Google. And apples to apples, Google seemed to be doing it better, or at least equal with established providers like Sony PlayStation, their PS Now Out service, and Xbox and their streaming service.
Funny, do you know where it worked really well? At Google's head office, where they have like unlimited Wi-Fi access.
Fibre as thick as my arm.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Everyone was raving about it until they got it home and plugged it into their own Wi-Fi and realised.
It's the kind of thing I think that in years to come, the main issue that most people are complaining about, apart from delays in rollout, delays in issuing codes and hardware to people who pre-ordered it, the main issue has been
the guys that they'd hand-picked to test it for them, because influencers and whatnot, the founders that they called them, didn't even get their codes in time to log in.
So there's been a lot of issues with button press lag, pressing, in a very simple sense, just pressing your jump button, and there being up to, some journalists have reported up to a half-second delay from input to showing the impact of your input on screen.
We didn't have that in 1986 when the...
Yeah, you didn't have that on Pong.
Yeah, it was very reactive.
And so the idea that gamers of 2019 would accept that is unimaginable. I think that as Google, the other thing that everyone's worried about is that Google have been known in the past that they have the money to chuck about. They will throw billions at projects and then go, didn't work, cut our losses. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people are just wondering, is this going to be another one of Google's white elephants?
Yeah, well, that's something that I've heard, listening to other reviews 2 or 3 times, is people going, well, if I buy a whole load of games and have them in my library, and I've paid, some people are going to pay thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, all games right now that are available on the platform, they're all like at store price.
Yeah, like 50, 60 dollars, whatever. But they're going to have those in their storage, and then in 5 years' time, if Google go, what happens to all the games, all the money, all that you've spent? Is it all now useless, now worthless?
And if they do, come up to network issues and stuff like that, let's say that your internet service provider suddenly starts letting you down or reducing your service or something, then again, suddenly that's an entire platform that you've lost out on.
Yeah, and the thing that I got excited about last week when we were talking about it apparently is not viable. So it's not as if I can plug into the airport Wi-Fi and play it over the airport.
No.
I can't use the phone's 4G to power the
It's
streaming.
not going to be enough data.
Yeah, I can't sit on the bus, on the train, anything like that, and play on it because there's just not enough.
Alas,
bandwidth.
I think in time, maybe, and if Google really commit to this and lean into it, it might have the power, but it's the kind of thing where it's just not ready. It just needs to go back in the oven for a bit. In fairness, Google weren't actually very deceptive about this. They always pitched this first quarter, so the back end of 2019 feeding into 2020, as the sort of soft launch. They said, come into this, but no, you're kind of beta testing this, you're helping us muddle our way. And a lot of their biggest successes and things that they took over, for example, YouTube, it's always actively being revised online. It's continuous revision.
What the soft release should have been was, you sign a non-disclosure agreement, you test it for 3 months and let us know how rubbish it is. Not, here you go, let's make a big song and dance of it, tell everyone what you think of it no matter what, and we'll make the improvements thereafter, because that's exactly the situation that leads to them mothballing it and ruining a load of people's gaming experience anyway.
Yeah. I think Google, I'm going to give it 6 months. 6 months. I'll see what it's like in 6 months' time.
I'll let you do it in 6 months, and I'll see what you say, and then I might buy one 6 months.
I love wasting money, especially on tech foibles.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, so I called it Google's white elephant. It's time for a Danipedia fact. Did you know the origin of the phrase white elephant?
No, tell me. I'm really interested.
Okay. So, way back when, the king of Siam, if you were someone of his court or someone sort of vaguely attached that he knew he had to get a gift for, he would buy you an albino elephant.
What, a live elephant?
Yeah! King of Siam, this is back in days.
I suppose you can afford it.
He'd buy you an albino elephant, idea being that the upkeep would be so much that it would either bankrupt you or just, annoy the hell out of you.
Well, because you've got to keep it clean.
Because you have to upkeep an elephant. You've got an elephant to look after now. How much does an elephant eat? How much space does it need?
I don't know. A lot?
Sorry, you can't come round for tea now. Got a white elephant in the back garden.
I've been to an elephant sanctuary and they seem fairly
Imagine if I popped an elephant.
I suppose, I could have one in my garden.
If I really wanted to annoy someone, I'd buy him an elephant. Oh, I wouldn't. I feel bad for the elephant, but I mean.
Yeah. It's like the modern day equivalent is a giant teddy bear.
Yeah.
It's like they're going to have to take that home.
Yeah.
You've got like like an 8-foot teddy bear.
And then you got to pop round awkwardly and be like, still got that teddy?
Yeah, and they have to find someone to sort of get it out when they know you're coming over. Yeah. And you start making surprise visits just to make sure they haven't put it away.
You still got that?
Where's the 8-foot bear I bought you?
That's a precious bear, that.
Well, I'm going to use the white elephant factoid now.
There you go. So there's a Danipedia fact coming at you. So we'll move on quite quickly. Let's talk science and tech just to round things off, I think.
Yeah.
So what's been going on? I see here... who's Olaf?
Olaf?
Oh, wait.
Ooh.
Is this Frozen 2 spoilers? Because I haven't yet.
No, absolutely no Frozen 2 spoilers whatsoever. Olaf is a frog.
Right.
A particular species of frog, endangered species, who has been bred using IVF.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for real. Which is incredible news. I don't know, obviously, how this is going to roll out, and it's going to be great for species that want to be kept in captivity, but we don't know how great it's going to be for species that are actually going to be in the wild and have... If we've destroyed it, probably fair enough.
Yeah.
If it's gone extinct on its own, is this the beginnings of Jurassic Park?
Oh, God, please.
Please let there be a Jurassic Park.
Welcome!
If there's a Jurassic Park in my lifetime, do you know how much I would literally spend every penny that I had to go to Jurassic Park?
Yeah, you know what made me really angry about Jurassic World, actually?
Yeah, go on.
The idea that people are bored of seeing the dinosaurs alive.
Yeah,
You idiots.
it's never going to happen.
What a load of rubbish.
Yeah, it's not like, do you know what people are bored of? Is flying to an island in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, put that in London.
Yeah, put it in. Yeah, you put it in town. You
Put
put it in
the,
driving distance.
Put that one,
from
you know, the
Four
big one that jumps up, the sea one.
Yeah,
put
yeah.
that in the River Thames.
Yeah, or have it next to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you go to Disneyland, you go to
Jurassic World.
Come on, mate.
Integration.
Yeah.
It's brand fusion.
We're not even marketeers, and we can figure this out.
Anyway, so he's been brought back to life with IVF.
Yeah.
They're going to keep them going. They're going to keep this species.
Obviously,
going
this is an amphibian species, so it's in early development stage.
Awesome.
But yeah, see what happens. Obviously, we've had cloning for a long time.
We've had IVF for a long time.
We've had IVF for a long time. We've had a meld.
A mind meld. You know, true Danipedia fact. I'm an IVF baby.
I'm not.
Ah.
I think I'm a power cut baby.
It's the terrifying thing is I can say I was both born and conceived in a hospital.
I don't know what to respond to. I could have been conceived in a hospital. I don't know.
I can officially say there was a team involved in my conception. It was a team effort.
Hi Dan's mum and dad. If you're watching this, I'm sorry we're talking about this.
Well, no, because that's the thing. The thing is I can talk endlessly about my conception and how fascinating it was, and it's kind of, I'd say, I'm biased. There's lots of interesting things about in vitro fertilisation, but the most fascinating thing is the fact about how freely and openly and honestly I can talk about my conception compared to everyone else.
Yeah, we talk about my brother's conception constantly, just because we know he was. For those of you who don't know, I'm from Essex. In Essex, in 1987, there was a hurricane which caused a week-long power cutout.
He was one of
9 months later.
He was a hurricane baby.
In my brother's year at school, there's about 15 people that all had their birthday within a week of each other. They're all hurricane babies.
There you go. And no Cybertruck.
No Cybertruck.
No Cybertruck, no power.
Yeah, if there'd been a Cybertruck on every driveway, there'd be far less
be at least
people.
15 young men down in Essex.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and otherwise, back to Alphabet, back to Google.
Some good.
Some good.
Yeah, we can knock the video games on the head for a minute. They've developed a sorting AI for recycling, which can sort recycling at high speed, and it's really impressive. And it's very accurate. It can decipher the material, the viscosity, the weight, everything. And it's effectively, everyone's seen videos of car manufacturing plants with the robots coming in and doing the welding and everything. It's effectively that with rubbish.
I'm not going to rest until I want to see Does it do it with arms, or
Yeah.
it does it with arms?
It does it with arms. There's also a laser system and something called a blower, which will scan the plastic bottles.
Oh, I think I've seen something like this, and it blows stuff of a certain weight off.
Yeah. Good.
That sounds like the kind of thing. When I get back from a night out at like 2 in, just put that on.
Yeah, that's what.
Kebab.
You know when you get to the end of the video on Ants Canada and you get the little the set, up next, and you get a video of recycling being sorted.
Recycle button.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Everyone's down. Those two subjects, the IVF progs. Obviously, IVF, like we said, been around for years. It's affected millions of people. It's made millions of people's lives better. It's now got the opportunity to make the world a better place and undo some of the absolute carnage that we've caused. And so do Google now.
Maybe a bigger and brighter future ahead.
Yeah.
If it all goes to pot, if we do trash the planet, have we got any other options? How about a life aquatic?
Yeah, there could be another option.
We might be leaving Europe, but we could leave for
Europa. Europa, for those of you that don't know, is one of Jupiter's moons. Now, if there was going to be anywhere in our solar system where there would be life, it would be either on our moon or on Europa, where there are huge quantities of water.
Nice.
It is a frozen wasteland. It's effectively like flying over the Antarctic. It's just an ice planet, but it does have an area close to this planet's core, as close to the seabed, where there is warmth and it could be a survivable environment.
Nice.
So this week, NASA, well, not this week, it's been going on for a while. NASA have been developing this idea since, since Galileo flew past Jupiter. In the 70s, they came up with the idea that there was a place on Jupiter which was between the outer atmosphere and the inner atmosphere, which was a bit sunny, it was a bit warm, the pressure wasn't too high, it was just right, and they had it in their head that there would be swarms of alien insects buzzing all around this part of Jupiter. No, it wasn't that at all. There's incredible amounts of radiation on Jupiter, and this is one of the problems we've encountered with exploring Europa. You can't stay on Europa for too long, because there's so much radiation from Jupiter. Another space exploration problem that we've got. But that being said, NASA is still going ahead with testing in the Arctic underwater ice robots.
Oh, right. That is another phrase I'm a big fan of.
Yeah. Underwater ice robots are literally They're pretty basic structure, but they are so cool. Like, it's the coolest thing ever. And I would imagine between now and the time when these are actually developed and launched, they're going to be AI dependent as well. So they'll be able to seek out the possibility of life by actually looking, rather than going, NASA saying, we want you to go to this point, this point, this point. It will just go, I'm going to do a meticulous loop. I'm going to scan the entire planet as best I can.
We'll find that life.
Yeah, it's going to be, it will not stop ever.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's the Terminator of ice robots.
Oh, don't! I'll do my Arnie voice.
No, that's the. It is exciting. I know that it hasn't launched yet and everything. It's still in the testing phase, but. Europa has been a big part of that whole. That's the sort of one string we're hanging on to, that there's life in the solar system. There could be life in the solar system.
Otherwise, proper trek to the next feasible place.
Yeah, like 4 light years.
Oh.
And we've got to break through the heliosphere to get there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before.
Yeah, it's a depressing place.
Okay. So, on that note, we're going to wrap it up here. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching to the end. If you joined us this far, and you a true fan, you a true Dan fan, Danipedia for life.
I wouldn't go that far.
Please like, comment, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. There's a tiny little bell icon next to the subscribe button. If you click that, then you'll get alerted the next time we post out the freshest of the fresh content.
Cool. Thank you very much, everybody. I've been Dan.
I'm Dan.
Goodbye.
Bye.